Let's continue on with patch number 3. Let's go ahead here and close patch number 2. Close our plugin window. I'm going to bring up my mix window and get patch number 3, which will be called Sync Tractor Filter. Sync Tractor Filter. Let's open that up and see what we've got. All right. For Sync Tractor Filter, the operative word here is sync. We will be using LFO1 to change the filter cutoff frequency of filter number 1. So that means we're going to have to change the rate and the amount. And let's go ahead and change the rate here, and let's see what we get. I get numbers with a range of 0 to 127. Let me engage the sync option here and enable that. And now let's see what numbers we get. Oh, I get a range of, looks like fractions, which are representing note values. Fractions representing note values. There's a 32nd note. There's a 16th note, 8th note triplet, 8th note, etc. Dotted eighth, and there's a quarter note right there. All right. So you can experiment with that if you wish. For this one, I'm going to be using 8th note triplet, so I'll leave it set to 8th note triplet. Now I need to go ahead and experiment with my waveform type and my destination to make this patch sound like the model. So let's go ahead and listen to the model. I'm going to go ahead here and drop my cursor right there. Here's our model. So let me count. Triplet, 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 triplet. So there's my 8th note triplet that I've got. Okay. Let me turn off my model. Let's listen to my MIDI notes here that are going to trigger subtractor. All right, so nothing. So it means I've got to increase the amount here. Okay, so let's go ahead and increase the amount. Now, I'm definitely getting something going on there, but it doesn't sound like it's a filter. Yeah, it's still modulating the pitch. I've got to go change my destination here to filter frequency. Change that. Yeah. Okay. Let's check that against our model here. So I'm going to go back here. It just doesn't sound quite right. If I listen to the model, it seems like it's really opening up that filter very sharply. That means I'm going to try a different waveform, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to try square wave. Let me try that. There. Let me check that against my model. Yep, I think I've got it. All right, so the trick with this one, LFO1, sync is on, rate 2, 8th note triplet, amount to about 89, 90 right in there, and also square wave for my waveform choice and filter frequency so that it modulates my filter right there. Okay, so that's the key for Sync Tractor Filter. Let's go ahead and mute that track. Let's continue on with patch number 4. So first let's close patch number 3 here, close our plugin window. Command equals brings up my mix window, and I'm going to click on patch number 4, bring that up. And this one, name of the track is called Filter Wheel Tractor. Filter Wheel Tractor. What we're going to be doing is using the modulation wheel here to raise, and then as we pull the modulation wheel back, lower again the cutoff frequency here to its original setting. So we'll be raising it above this setting all the way to the top, and then lowering it back down. Now, unfortunately, with the Reason Subtractor, you don't see this filter filter control move here, this filter slider move, but you will definitely hear it, okay? All right, let's go ahead and listen to our audio model, and just scoot that there, and that's it right there. Let's go ahead and check that out. Again, as I play across that, you can see the modulation wheel moving. That's because even though this is muted, I already have controller information programmed in here for you in case you are working at a location where you do not have a keyboard to experiment with the modulation wheel in real time. Okay, so this way you'll be able to get the sound of the printed model exactly. Don't have to worry about anything. The mod wheel info is already in there for you to move the modulation wheel. Okay, let's go back to clips and listen to our model again. Okay, let me mute that. Now let's listen to our model here. Let's go ahead and listen to Subtractor itself before we do the programming. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the filter cutoff manually here with my mouse. And just to not confuse things, let me go to my controllers, go to Mod Wheel, and I'm going to grab my insertion tool and delete that so you don't see the wheel move at all. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to move the frequency control manually. So I'm starting at 40 and I'm going to move it all the way to the top. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to use my modulation wheel instead. So let me set that back to 40. Okay. Now, let me go ahead here and put the track in record so I can patch my MIDI data through and play. And I'll move the mod wheel. You can see there it is. I'm moving it in real time. I'm playing some notes. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to go to my modulation wheel destination options here and select filter frequency. So I'm going to put it from its center position all the way to the right, meaning when I raise the modulation wheel or push it up, it's going to raise the filter cutoff frequency setting. Okay, so let me go play some notes here. Okay, and I'll put it just about halfway there. Now you'll see me move the modulation wheel again. Now even though the modulation moves all the way to the top, this almost acts as kind of a restrictor, meaning it will only let me move the filter cutoff frequency so high. It won't let it go all the way to the top. Even though the wheel is moving all the way, it won't let the filter cutoff move all the way to the top because I have this control kind of as a restrictor. In other words, it'll only let the filter cutoff frequency raised by an amount of, it looks like 29. So if it's at 40 now, add 29 to that, we get 69. Okay, that's as high as it would go. All right, let's go ahead and put it all the way and do that again. All right, now let's go back here to Pro Tools and I will go do a Command Z, which is undo. There we go, and that gets my modulation data back in my track. Okay, let's go ahead and, just so you can see it, turn the frequency option here to 0. So even now we see the modulation wheel move, we're not going to hear any effects because we're not allowing the effect of the modulation wheel to actually reach the filter. Now let's go ahead and turn our frequency control. Okay, so there we are using the mod wheel and the filter frequency option here to modulate the cutoff point of filter number 1. Let's change this back to clips. Let's take our track out of record enable and mute the track. We'll continue with the programming for patch 5 and then wrap up with saving your work in the next video.